Hi everyone, my name is Michael Armis and this is my client, Daisy Alas.
Hello.
Say hi, Daisy.
Hi.
So today we're going to be doing the functional movement screening test. It's going to consist of 7 movements that we're going to assess Daisy on. Part of this screening process is to test for muscular imbalances and compensations that we might have. We see this a lot in our athletes when we're assessing individual limbs and complicated and complex movements. So the first movement we're going to perform today is the deep squat. So Daisy, I need you to take this dowel. You are going to hold it over your head and you are going to try and squat as deep as you can, and your job is to try and make sure that your femur is getting below parallel and making sure that this bar right here is in line over your toes as you go down. Okay?
Okay.
So whenever you're ready, you're going to perform it 3 times, and if we need to make any adjustments, then we can do it. So you can go for it whenever you like. Okay, so one adjustment I'm going to make is I'm going to slide this board right underneath here because I see that you're starting to lean forward a little bit. So all I'm going to have you do is just keep the same space, shoulder width of your legs, and I want you to place your back heels on this board right here. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to put the bar overhead now. Okay.
Do it again.
That was better. Okay, perfect. Okay, go for it one more time. Awesome. Okay, perfect. Now we can move on to our next test. Okay. So the next test, you can come over here. The next test we're going to be doing is the hurdle test. Okay. So Daisy, if you can just come and step around for me, right over there. So this next test that we're going to be doing is going to be testing lower limb. And we want to see if there's any muscle imbalances that you might have. This is a really good test to assess on athletes because most of the sports that we do involve planting on one leg, one arm, those types of things. This is also a big indicator if you're prone to injury, right? To see if you're maybe shifting or compensating from one side to the other. So this next test, what you're going to do is you're going to hold the dowel almost as if you're doing a squat. It's going to rest on your back, over your head. And what you're going to do, I need you to step up for me. And we're going to test the right hand side first, so the left leg is going to be planted. And all you're going to do is step over this wire right here. And as you step over, I just need you to tap this board right here and come back over. So make sure you're not planting and stabilizing yourself on the ground. I need you to step over, tap, and then come back over. Okay? We're going to go 3 times on the right leg, 3 times on the left leg. Okay? So whenever you're ready. That's okay. That's okay. Okay. So that was the right leg.
The left.
We're going to do left now. Okay, perfect. All right. So that was that right there. Now, what we're going to have you perform is the inline lunge right now. Okay. So what you are going to do is you're going to start off with your right foot forward first. Okay. You're going to get on this board and you're going to have your left hand right in line with your head and the right arm down here right in the cervical area, down here of the spine, and you're going to try and lunge forward, and you're going to try and make sure that your back foot stays planted. So if you can get on the board for me, please. So right leg forward.
Front view, side view.
Yeah, so you can come over here. So perfect. So I want your right foot forward first. Perfect, okay. Now I want your left arm, there we go, right in line with your head. So if you can, just lower this left hand down a little bit right there and bring this right arm forward, just right there. Okay, perfect. Now what I want to make sure that you do is you try and get down as low as you can, and you can pick your heel up, but I do not want that toe coming off on the back foot over there. So whenever you're ready, you can go for it. Okay.
Side view.
Okay. Let's get one more view. Okay, good. Okay. You can step off really quick. Alright. Now all we're gonna do is just switch our position, so the left foot is gonna come up first. Perfect. Now we're gonna switch our grip. So the right hand is gonna be right in line with your head. Left hand. Perfect. Okay. You can go for it now. Okay. If we can just get a interior view of this. One more. Okay, very good. All right. So, after that, the next test we're going to be doing is we're going to be checking for your shoulder stability. Okay. So what I need you to do is we're going to grab this yardstick. You can just turn around for me. Right here. We're going to test your shoulder range of motion on both sides. We're going to be working to see if we can see humeral abduction and adduction, seeing the motion of the scapula, seeing if one side has more range of motion than the other. And this will be a great indication for injury, to see if she is more prone to injury on one side than the other. So Daisy, what I want you to do is we're going to test the right hand side first. So the right arm, put it behind your back, and the left arm is going to sit a little bit higher. So all I want you to do, Daisy, is make a fist for me in both hands, and I want you to try and bring them as close as you can, and do not try and nudge them up your back, okay? So if that's as far as you can go, that is perfect. All right, so if you can come in and just see this really quick. All right, so she is at about 10 inches, okay. Can you go one more time, Daisy?
Same.
Same arm, Okay, one more time, Daisy. Okay, so she's maintaining that 10 inches on both sides. Okay, so now we're gonna test the opposite side now, Daisy. Oh wow, look at that. That's different right there. There we go. About 8 inches right there. One more time, Daisy. Okay, and last go. Okay, all right, perfect, all right. So now the next test we're gonna be performing, Daisy, you're gonna be getting down right over here on the ground. We're gonna be testing your hamstring strength. So if you can please lay down on the ground for me, right over here.
On my stomach?
On your back, please. Okay, so just lay down flat for me, just pick that up really quick for me, please. Okay, all right, you can rest on the ground for me right there. Okay, so what we're gonna be looking at right here is we're gonna be testing out your individual hamstring strength. Lots of the sports that we see obviously involve single leg movements. What we're gonna be testing here to see if your hips are tight, if we can make sure that we can identify any muscular imbalances that you might have from one side to the other. Okay, so all I need you to do for me, Daisy, is on your right leg, you are gonna keep it straight. Okay, and you're gonna try and bring your right leg as far up as you can, but still make sure that you're keeping those hips on the ground and left leg planted on the floor. So whenever you're ready, you can go up. Okay, perfect. Okay. Now we're just going to come over here to the left hand side now. So whenever you're ready, Daisy, you're going to do the same thing here on the left side. Make sure that that right hip is staying down on the ground, and make sure that you're trying to keep this leg as straight as possible. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So now the next test we are going to run is going to be the push-up core stabilizing test. So what I need you to do, Daisy, if you can lie down on your stomach for me, please. Okay, so what I need you to do for me, Daisy, right, we're going to be testing your core stability. You're going to be performing a push-up, and what I want to see is your body coming entirely up at the same time. I don't want to see the trunk coming up first and then the hips coming up. To the best of your ability, if you can bring your body up all in one motion. Also, I need you to place your thumbs in line with the clavicle line. If you can just imagine, there you go, perfect. And so what I'm gonna need you to do is just do a push-up to the best of your ability.
Arms on the floor.
If you can get your arms on the floor just like that, and you're gonna be performing a push-up for me. So whenever you're ready. Okay. Okay, good. Okay. All right. Now, the next test that we're going to be doing is we're going to be testing your ability to rotate at the trunk. Okay, so if you can make sure that you get both knees on the ground. What you're going to do, Daisy, is you're going to lean forward, palms directly in line with the shoulders. And what we're going to do here is you're going to extend your left hand and your left leg back at the same time. So left hand is going to come forward, left leg is going to go back. And what I want you to do is try and remain as neutral as possible and try not shifting over from one side to compensate for the other. So whenever you're ready, you can fully extend. Okay. Go for it one more time. Okay, that was good. Okay, all right. So something I just want to point out here real quick that we can maybe adjust is I see that you're starting to come over a little bit more on this right hand side, which is natural because you're taking your left limbs off. If you can, what I'd like to see you do is you are going to extend your left hand forward and your right leg back, and you're going to try and touch that left elbow to your right knee right here across this midline. Good, that's perfect. That's perfect, that looks awesome. Okay, now we're gonna test the right hand side. If you can come right over here for me, please. Okay, perfect. So now you're gonna do the same thing, except what we're gonna test this time, if you can put your right arm as far forward as you can, and this right arm backwards. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing we did on the other side. So you're going to bring this right arm, you're going to bring it across your body to the midline, and it's going to meet your right elbow to your left knee. So fully extend for me. Perfect. Okay, you can get that, baby. Okay, thank you so much. This has been Daisy's functional movement screening for today. There's some things that we saw in there that can be extremely useful, and we can hopefully correct for Daisy. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.